Spirit has chosen the Four Corners spread for your general monthly reading, which lays a nice, diverse groundwork where we will be looking into the four main areas of interest that people commonly ask about in tarot: the work corner, the financial money corner, the health corner, and the ever-popular love corner. We are going to take a stroll through all four to see what Spirit wants to discuss about your month. And that is what we're going to do today. Welcome in, Taurus. It is time for your Four Corners spread for March 2024. We're going to dive in right now. The cards are already laid out. Let's get into your love corner first, actually. It's one of your simplest corners, as it turns out. The first thing they talk about in your love corner, guys, which is anybody close to your heart, really. Your family center, your friends center, anybody close to your heart. Even pets can come in here, guys. So first thing they talk about is eye on the prize here. It's a messenger coming in, my page of Pentacles. Pentacles is an eye on money, more than likely. Finances for the family, something like that. They're saying, like, you're watching, you're observing what is going on. So there's nothing like slipping between the cracks, so to speak. You're seeing everything very clearly, what's going on with your family, with your loved ones, and so forth. That's coming in just fine. It can also be a notification coming in early in March too about finances. Maybe, hearing about a job, or hearing about, your tax return coming this date. It's going to be deposited on this date, or whatever it is. Early in March is what they show with the date here. For what happens next is they show my Two of Swords. This is the card about driving a little bit blind here. There's things going on in your family dynamic or in your social circle here that you're just not really clear about. They show the eyes kind of being a little fuzzy here. So it's just saying you're driving a little blind, but you're looking at this in a great way. So even though you don't know all the facts, you don't know, the way everything is going to play out, it's okay. You're in a good spot with it. And then I really like that perception. I like that way. I like that outlook that you got. Because if this was turned around, this would be on the dark side of your mind and like really letting things eat at you that you don't know. Like really being afraid of the unknown, all that kind of stuff. And they don't show that, Taurus, so looking good there. So there's your love corner, short and sweet. It doesn't really tell me directly that this would be a bad time for singles for Taurus to go find somebody. But when you're driving a little bit blind and your eyes are a little clogged up here, a little, cobwebs and stuff, probably not the ideal time for it. Probably more business as usual is much the advice that I would push there. As we get down into your health, this is a very interesting one. This is where the reading starts getting really good, guys. The first thing they show is the wheel card. It is like the Wheel of Fortune. It is just good luck. It means good luck. Health has been excellent for you guys here for Taurus, and it's going to continue that way in March. March is just the upswings. Upswings are never forever. Sometimes they come down, but right now, you guys are just living the high road, living the high life. The next thing they show here is my Queen. Just noticed I didn't check to see if that was a person. No, maybe I did. No, it's not. Okay, perfect. So this is my Queen of Pentacles. So they're saying nurture your health here, and a lot of you have done a good job of that, and that's why we have this upswing. Like, you are the cause. You've done a good job. You know what works for your body. You know what doesn't work for your body. Keep doing that. Because when we have good things like this in tarot, it's basically Spirit saying, hey, you know what? You need a continuance of it. Because if not, this wheel is going to go the other way. The wheel is going to come back down like the roller coaster does. They show here that you have all the tools too. So you are really well equipped to really kick butt in health. You even if it's like, you have a genetic, like, your side of the family is known for, stomach problems, spinal problems, whatever it is, fill in the gap here. It's just like, even though you have this genetic like thing that runs in your family, it's not really going to affect you. It's like you're way too kick butt here to let that stuff bother you. Anyway, good stuff. Moving on. We have a very interesting Oracle Angel card too. We have Hello from Heaven. So a deceased loved one of one of my Tauruses is popping in and doing one of these. Nice little hello from heaven. It says in the card, your loved ones in heaven are doing just fine. Let go of worries and feel their loving blessings. I just view it mostly as a little hello. And that's an interesting place to come in for health. But it makes me feel like maybe, one of the examples we used, like, this thing runs in your family. Well, maybe this is one of those loved ones of yours that did not have the kick butt health that you do, and that is something that affected them, and that is why they're using this as a bridge to come and do this little nice hello to you. So anyway, it's very nice to see. I also offer Hello from Heaven as a personal audio product on the website, scottsagent.com, if that's something that interests anybody. Very interesting. Well, since we have this big connection here, I would say that would be very profound right now. Let's go over here into your work and finances. Of course, they're very intertwined, intertangled here. Most people make their finances through work and so forth. So the first thing they show for finances is new ideas, new ways of looking at things, not so much hanging on to the old. We really need to do things new here. This is a push toward the new. I would even lean toward new moon. We'll talk more about that moon coming in momentarily, but we have a big super new moon coming. And financially, if you're trying to do new things, what better time than March? That's what Spirit's saying here. New ideas, new ways of thinking. Light bulb effect, divination. Things just popping in your head, just like, oh, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should try this. Well, maybe you should, right? The next thing they show here is my kind of childhood energy here. Could be money being moved for kids, being spent on the children. It can also be nostalgia. You could be buying something from your past, since it is financial, spending money on something that you really enjoyed as a kid, buying that old Nintendo set you always wanted, buying that old arcade Pac-Man set, for the game room, or something fun like that, a dart board, I don't know what. But anyway, it's just childhood. Hopefully they're not trying to say be immature with your finances here. For those of you who are being maybe too loose with that, I'd maybe be a little careful about that. But everything else is, I think this is just a fun card for me. It's fun to have a little money being spent on nostalgia in the past and the old good times, right? And that's the energy of what we have here for March. Taurus, when we get up into work, we have some really powerful, good stuff here. Very powerful. This is one of your largest corners. Health was the other one. Here we have the Hierophant card coming in first. This is doing things the right way. Okay, so your work corner, which is a big place too, because it's work, business, enterprise, area of study, collegiate courses, retirement if you're of that age, entrepreneurship, the JOB for most people. Also, hobbies and interests and learning new things. All that falls into this work corner, guys. And they talk about doing things the right way. So no cutting corners here. Everything's got to be done the right way. Dot the I's, cross the T's. Everything's got to be thorough. There can be no toxicity here, no funny business. You get the idea. They bring in two interesting moving parts here that come off of that card. They bring in my Knight of Pentacles, which is my action, my money action card. So money being spent in the workplace. It's coming in as either you're doing that or it is the advice that you can spend money toward your job, toward, for example, if you're a waitress, buy yourself a nice comfortable set of shoes, maybe a new apron, depending on what you do. Maybe if you work from home, buy yourself a nice comfortable chair that, you won't mess your back up in sitting there for, 8 hours a day, that kind of thing. So spending money on the workplace. But here's the but. The other side of this, they talk about being defensive about something with work. So there is something, even though they're saying the money being spent is fine, there's something you do need to hold back with work, or be a little cautious of, or hold your ground, or hold down to boundaries with, okay? Because they're showing, drawing a line in the sand in front of you and saying, hey, you're not going to cross that. No, you're not. Or no, I'm not going to cross that. I'm not going to do that. Like, that's not part of my job requirements, or something like that. That's the energy of what we're talking about here. My Oracle Angel card brings in divine order. Everything is how it needs to be right now. This is what the card says. Look past the illusion and see the underlying order. So things are happening in a divine way, the way they're supposed to happen. Trust the process. Maybe you're at a point now with work where you can see the mechanisms. You can see behind the curtains yourself. You can see why you've been through what you've been through. Because here, this is starting to clear up. This is starting to make sense. Now let's get into your runestone, guys. Runestone is an interesting one because I don't see this really anywhere in your spread. Looking around one more time. Maybe a little bit in health is where it would maybe apply the most. Maybe it's just a standalone runestone. It is the runestone of fertility. So for some of my Tauruses here, fertility may be a literal thing. They may be talking about pregnancy or the opportunity to get pregnant. For others of you, the ground is very fertile. The ground is very ripe. There are opportunities all around you guys, especially in the work and the health. We had good luck in the health, and then we have doing things the right way and pushing it. Advice for you and work. So we just have fertile ground, especially in those two corners. But March is your fertile ground. Now, here's something I forgot to do last month for you guys. And I just wasn't picking on Taurus. I forgot to do it for everybody. Oracle Angel card. I'm doing one for every single sign in 2024 except for last month because I forgot. Anyway, yours is clairaudience, guys. So they're talking about, it says directly in the card, it's ears, hearing. It says, notice the loving guidance you hear inside your mind or from other people. Spirit works in mysterious ways. You may be overhearing a conversation of somebody talking about something, and that may spark an idea of interest. We talked about new ideas in your financial corner. You may hear from a friend of yours something that gives you a great idea for something unrelated to that, maybe something to do with work, or somebody tells you, hey, got this new job opportunity. I think you'd be great at it. Okay, so listen to what is going on. Spirit is saying, keep your ears open in March. So there we go. Now let's get into your moon cycles. And like I said earlier, we have a super new moon coming in March. It is the best time for the entire year to bring new things into your life. So anything you're trying to bring in new, whether it's new love, whether it's new finances, something new with work, something new with health, doesn't matter what it is, pay attention to the super new moon as we cut away to the moon cycles right now. And then we're going to wrap up with some homily, which is a little spiritual pep talk done by me. Hope you enjoy it. Okay guys, it is moon cycles forecast time. Let's talk about these lunar energies that are all around us anyways, so we can use it to our benefit, implement some positive change into your month. Well, the first thing you need to understand is whether these energies are coming in or going out. Just like the tides, the moon has control of that. In the same way, you can use it too. The first thing that hits chronologically this month is the new moon. You're going to see all the text information on your screen, any rare occurrences, as well as the date. Now, this is a target date for the new moon. It doesn't have to be done on this date, guys. I really like to bracket a few days before and a few days after to get a very powerful week where you can bring new things into your life and really manifest. If it is NEW, it's not there before, brand new, this is the best time to bring it into your life. Something new financially, maybe something new with work, new love, new health. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's new, this is the best time of the month to work on these things, really help bring it in. Adversely, the full moon, the opposite energy, the energy going out, hits on this date on your screen. And of course, the same rules apply. It doesn't have to be done on this date. We're talking about a week window, a few days on each side of it here. When this energy is very strong going out, and the energy going out is the best time to get things out of your life that don't belong there or that you don't want there, something that's got control of you or hold of you that you don't want. Maybe something like a bad habit, maybe emotional baggage, a bill that's got to go. That would be something financially, maybe something with health, maybe an eating habit that's got to go. It doesn't matter if it's got to go. The full moon is your best bet to get this change to stick. If any of this has confused you, I've put together a moon cycle cheat sheet. I do it every single month. It is free. It is on the website, guys. You can check it out very easily. It is a little graphic illustration, a tool that you can use so you can kind of see these changes moving in and moving out, so you can align things in your month to it to really get them to stick, implement some great positive changes. Now let's get into your homily. Welcome into your homily for March 2024. Today we're going to be talking about an experiment with rats. This little guy here is going to help give us an example of hope and how important it is for humans to also have hope. So this experiment we're talking about was done at, I think about 1954, at least in the 1950s, from Dr. Kurt Richter. He's a Harvard grad. He is a scientist at Johns Hopkins, and what he studied, what the experiment began with at least, was he wanted to see how long lab rats would last, who are very strong swimmers, by the way, in a bucket of water. So how long they could tread water for until they basically could not do it anymore and passed away. And by today's standards, this would be a cruel experiment. But in the 50s, a very different world back then. And this teaches us a very important lesson. So I'm almost glad that he did this for the sake of humanity learning how important this is. So what he did was he gauged that it was about 15 minutes on average how long the lab rats would last for. And he didn't understand why that was, because rats are very strong swimmers. They can swim. They're documented in science for swimming across large lakes, rivers, all kinds of things that take longer than 15 minutes. So the results weren't matching the real world, the reality of things. And he didn't understand why. So he set out to figure out why, because he started to realize that he thought they were giving up hope. It wasn't about that they couldn't last any longer. He thought that they decided that there was just no way out, no escape. And they literally just gave up, they surrendered. And in which case was their lives. So what he did was he gauged this by testing it, by doing the same experiment, except what changed was when he observed that they were giving up hope, when they were about to just take their last breath and go under the water. He picked them up. He saved them. He brought them up. He corralled them he warmed them back up. Made sure that they're breathing again, and back to normal. I don't know how long of a process that was, if it was a few minutes or 10 minutes or an hour, I'm not sure what. But once he felt that they were good again, he put them back in that same bucket of water. Nothing else has changed. So what do you think happened? We would expect maybe they're going to last another 15 minutes because that's what they did before. Or maybe they're going to last less because they're a little tired, right, from running around before. But that was not the results, not at all. The results would blow your mind. These results were hours later, not just 15 minutes. In fact, some of these rats swam for 60 hours the second time in the bucket. The only difference is having been saved, having that little glimmer of hope that there is something to aim for here and that you can pull yourself out here. And even though the rat wasn't pulling himself out, he didn't know what was going on. But he did have hope implanted in him from being saved. And that savior mechanism gave him hope to persevere and to keep going. And this was copied over many rats. And it wasn't just one rat who's a marathon swimmer who just could go 60 hours. This was many rats who just kicked the butt of the 15-minute time window, the second go of it, by about 240 times over. So this is a glimmering beacon of hope for humanity, that this is what you can accomplish in your future by having a little bit of hope, by persevering, doing things a little bit longer than you naturally would, by knowing that things are going to change, things are going to improve, things are going to get better. So the question I propose to you is how much longer you can swim for, how much longer you can persevere for, how much harder you would work at this if you knew that you were just this close to getting out of it. If the rat can do it, you certainly can do it. So that is just the power. It's not just the power of positive thinking, because it's beyond that. It's something much more intrinsic, much more spiritual, much deeper. And that is the lesson that this rat teaches us. That's why I wanted to share this experiment with you. It's very interesting to me, very intriguing, and also very profound, because I think this is something that we can all do with proof of how positive the outcomes can be in our lives. So I hope you guys have enjoyed your homily. Hope you've enjoyed the reading as well. I hope you can implement it in March. Hope you have an excellent March. I know you will.
So I guess the fortune teller's right.